Right, wrong, and the law. You see, these things don't go in tandem with each other all the time. You've heard this conversation before, whether it be for people against it or for it, but sometimes the law can stand in the way of the greater good. The law is not the Bible. In this video, we're going to be taking a deep dive into a few comic pages that explore these themes with the best evil villain in fiction, the Joker, in Detective Comics number 741, Endgame Part 3, Sleep in Heavenly Peace. I'm warning you though, this story is fairly dark on top of happening around Christmas. Joker does a bunch of vile acts as usual, like almost killing the vigilante known as the Huntress as she was defending a bunch of babies. Joker fails and tries again. We get some minutes of page time establishing Gordon's loving dynamic with his fellow cop and wife Sarah and his daughter Barbara. Gordon's family time is interrupted as he's called to help deal with the Joker as the Joker leads Batman, Robin, Nightwing, and the cops on false leads where bombs of his go off. Joker ends up finding the babies at Police Central. Gordon's wife Sarah is the closest cop to the location when this is discovered, and she goes in to attempt to stop the Joker from harming the babies. She enters the room to stop Joker, only to see him holding one. She's put at a devilish standstill as she can't shoot the Joker due to the fact that he would drop the baby that he's currently holding. Joker takes advantage of her empathy and threatens the baby with his revolver before throwing the baby at her, which causes her to drop her gun as she catches the baby. This leaves her open and he says Merry Christmas before shooting her in front of the babies and leaving her body in front of dozens of other babies. He doesn't harm the babies, luckily. Joker leaves the police station as Batman and the cops close in on him. He tosses his gun aside and says, "I surrender," denying the cops and Batman the satisfaction of taking him in via Batman's usual brute force and punches to the face via his hammers of justice. Bullock comes out after checking out what happened inside and informs Gordon on what happened. Such a tragedy gets the better of Gordon, and he deservedly gives Joker a nasty punch to the face that draws blood. Joker proceeds to poke fun at the limitations of legal justice when he says, "Commissioner, you'll be hearing from my attorney." Gordon lists off all the vile things Joker has done, like the events of the Killing Joke where he paralyzed Gordon's daughter Barbara, which is a notable story reference as Joker's act here seems to be a mini second part to the Killing Joke as he is attempting to break Gordon once again. Batman of course doesn't want to kill him, but Batman states that he won't stop him. This is all happening as Joker has a devilish smile on his face as he taunts Gordon further, as he asks Gordon if he has a little boy too. Right after that tease, Gordon snaps and shoots him in the leg. Joker is stunned by what happened for a second, but even then he still plays it off and perceives it as a joke involving his daughter's inability to walk. Despite all that pain Joker caused, he still calls for the Joker's arrest under the charge of murder. Batman, being the good friend he is, consoles Gordon similar to the events of the Killing Joke once again. Now that I've broken this story down, I have to say, it's more than just dark, sad events. There's some interesting commentary that is made by Joker's actions once he leaves the police department. He teased the limits of the law. No one would have missed the Joker if he was killed, Old West style. It would have saved so much future lives. But Joker knows the law's limitations and flaunts it by surrendering after the atrocities he's committed, in the way he just throws his guns as he proceeds to literally smile with a huge ass grin in front of Gordon. This is aged very well, as things like this happen today with many examples such as laws of self-defense becoming more strict when it comes to dealing with various criminals, such as home invaders and various others. People can get into as much trouble as the criminals for shooting a fleeing criminal in the back. Sometimes people in the media are really strict on law figures and are quick to call them corrupt based off of a glance despite not having all of the details. Not to say that all cop cases are like this, as there are still some corrupt cops, but it isn't all black and white. Like, Gordon's actions here would have lost him his job in today's real world, despite his actions not being extreme when it comes to the monster that the Joker is. If this happened in real life, the CNN propaganda machine would pump out a story that would read, "Corrupt cop attempts to murder random green-haired albino black man." And then they would have a huge protest and march, and maybe a few random looting sprees against random businesses that don't really have much to do with the problem, as opposed to if they targeted something like... But anyway, now these legal limitations can become quite annoying when it comes to fighting for a greater objective good, as it can honestly get in the way. Take certain LGHD TV nonsense that's happening to our children in our schools, our media, our cities, the West as a general whole. Actions of which that are pretty much PDF-philia. The new head of DC is one of them. People have peacefully spoken out and peacefully protested it and brought it up to school boards, such as the drag performances in schools and disgusting PDF file books, only for nothing to change at all, as it keeps happening and it keeps getting worse. I'm stretching the limits of YouTube right now, but at this point, one may not have a choice but to take, unlawful action for the greater good. Nothing legal or peaceful has worked. Similar to the Joker, but even less respectable, as the Joker at least does his evil to prove a point. These people, on the other hand, these degenerates, these demons, would basically have to fear for their own safety to not take these bad actions at this point. The world only makes sense if you force it to. Stuff like this is why I've partially fallen out of love with the general portrayal of Batman and have started leaning more towards Zack Snyder's portrayal of him, as his Batman was pushed to the brink, far past his limits, as his softer methods of crime fighting clearly wasn't working, and he partially threw in the towel for the sake of the greater good, and started playing a little more dirty with the criminals that won't change despite his best efforts, despite his temporarily flawed judgment of Superman. I know dumbass YouTubers and hive-thinking drones tend to hate him, but you should look at him with a more clean perspective, or check out my great defense and analysis on him. Then we have the Joker, who nearly always delivers on these themes with various stories like The Dark Knight, Arkham Origins, Telltale's Batman, Injustice, etc. But anyway, there's more stories that cover these themes as well, such as the Gotham TV show, Season 2 finale specifically, Black Adam, believe it or not, Red Dead Redemption, and Metal Gear Revengeance. But anyway, I think I'm done ruining my digital footprint and Canadian social credit with this video. I hope I did a good job using this piece of media to get the gears spinning in a day and age where gears rarely independently spin in the minds of most people. Check out other thought-provoking videos of mine, and check out my Patreon to compensate for my ruined digital footprint. That will probably get me killed someday. I want my viewers to know that I would never kill myself or die in some random accident. But anyway, thanks for watching.